All right, welcome to our next video in our series, Programming in Java. This is Enigma Checkpoint 4. This is something that I've called a rotor cipher. That's an invention of this particular class. I don't think that's a real thing out in the world, but it is an important developmental step in our long-term goal of recreating a digital version of the Enigma machine that was used in World War II to encrypt and decrypt messages. The idea is we want to be able to send a letter through not just one, but multiple letter maps, scrambling it up many, many times. So the way that we're defining rotor cipher here is it's basically just a affine cipher and oh my gosh, I'm going to keep saying it wrong. I called it affine for a long time, but I think it's pronounced affine. It's an affine cipher done 3 times. So you take a letter and you move it through the first letter map. Whatever it translated to becomes your input into the second letter map. Then that output becomes the input into the third letter map. And whatever pops out of that map is what the letter encrypted to. Decryption does the exact same thing, but it's important to note that you go the opposite direction. When we were encrypting, we did first, second, third was the order of our maps. In decryption, we do third, second, first. That's the idea. So what do these test cases look like if I were to encrypt using a rotor map of bingo, bango, bongo? Then I would get this combination of letters right here. If I was to decrypt, let's say, that message right there, I'd get Avengers Assemble. So I think it's worth taking the time to look at the alphabet, compare it to the letter maps. How did the B in bingo become a V? Let's talk about that for a second. So what we did, we said, all right, if the input starts as a B, the B from bingo, and I ask, where is B? B is the second letter of the alphabet. It's index 1. Who's in that position in the first letter map? And it's a K. So the input into the first map was a B. The output was a K. So I'm going to ask, all right, where's K in the alphabet? It's down here. What letter matches with the K? That's in the Kth position. It's the L in the second map. And then we ask the question, all right, if we go up to L in the alphabet, what letter does that match with in the third map? And it becomes a V. And that's how the B in bingo becomes a V in the output once it gets encrypted, because we went from A to E, from B to K, K to L, L to V. That's the idea. The output of one letter map becomes the input of the next letter map. Decryption is a little bit kind of funnier to get your head around, so buckle up. How did the G go back to becoming an A right here? So I'm going to start with the third map, and just like I did with affine in checkpoint 3, I'm going to ask myself the question, where is G? What position is G in? I see G is right here, and I can tell that G is in the S's position. So decrypting backwards, the G becomes an S. Then I go to letter map 2 and I say, all right, what position is S in? S is in the E's position. And so in letter map 1, I ask, where is E? It's in the A's position. And that's how G became an A, because we went from G to S, from S to E, and from E to A. E to A, right there. Can be kind of a lot to get your head around, but you can do it. Well, just like checkpoint 2 benefited greatly from having checkpoint 1 well built, it was easy to make an advanced Caesar cipher if your basic Caesar cipher looked good. Making a rotor cipher is not super painful as long as your affine cipher looked okay. So the idea is, if you have a method that is your affine cipher method that can take a letter or a message and move it through one letter map, you can actually just call that method 3 times if you like, moving a letter through for encryption. What you do have to be able to do is you got to be able to go the opposite direction for decryption. So you got to be able to specify, when I'm encrypting, go through letter maps 1, 2, and 3. When I'm decrypting, we go 3, 2, 1. So what does our pseudo code look like for checkpoint 4? It's very similar to what we've seen before. Process command method, prime your loop, get it ready to go letter by letter, substring out the letter you're looking to work with. And then you can, was basically, this was the affine portion of the code right here. Get the index of the letter in the alphabet and then figure out what letter that is in the output letter map. You basically just need to do that 3 times. That's the idea, is you're going to do it 3 times. A lot of students ask, am I allowed to call my find method that I used in 3 and 4? Absolutely. That's the idea, right? We know as programmers, the better we can reuse our code, the more efficient our time is going to be. Often the easier it is to debug and build upon, right? Readable, maintainable, extensible. So that is the Rotor Cipher for checkpoint 4. Thanks for watching.